The 2021 quarterback class has been one of the most disappointing in recent memory, with all of them so far not living up to expectations or just being straight up terrible. But today, I am going to be taking over for every team that these quarterbacks are on, and over the next 5 years, we are going to see if we can save these quarterbacks' careers. And with someone like Zach Wilson, this probably won't be the easiest task in the world. So this might be a tough one. So get a drink, get a snack, get whatever. And super quick, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like. It sounds stupid, but it really does help out the channel. And if we can get to 2,500 likes, that should be very doable. It'll let me know y'all want to see me do this with the 2022 quarterback class, which is a little different, possibly the worst ever. We're obviously only doing this with the first round picks, but that would be with all the notable ones. So again, 2,500 likes and it'll let me know y'all want to see that. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Trying to hit 100K by the end of the year, and if you like rebuilds, that's literally all I do. And very last thing, massive shout out. Okay, I'll say shout out to Zach Storm for the suggestion of this video. We're obviously not doing a series, we're just doing one video, and I don't know if I can get all these QBs a Super Bowl win, but that's still the comment that gave me the idea to do this, so massive shout out to them. Their link is in the description, and if you want to shout out, just let me know what type of video you want to see, because that's where I get most ideas. But without further ado, long intro over, let's finally get into this. And I don't really think I have to explain how we're gonna do this. It should be pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna control these 4 teams, soon to be 5 teams. I'll explain why in a second, but we are gonna be trying to build these teams around the 2021 class quarterbacks. So that means we are probably gonna be trading players like Bo Nix, Dak Prescott, I guess maybe Russell Wilson. This isn't the most realistic rebuild if you couldn't tell. And we are soon to be 5 teams because 2 of the 2021 first round picks are on the same team in Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. And in the offseason, we're gonna let Mac Jones go. We'll see what team signs him, and then whatever team signs him, whether it's as a backup or a starter, we're gonna force him to be the starter. So if a team like, God forbid, the Chiefs signs him, they're gonna be in an interesting situation. But we're obviously gonna be signing for these teams, drafting for these teams, and trading for these teams. And speaking of trading, like I said, we're gonna get rid of these starters, at least for 2 of the teams, so let's get to that. But okay, we're gonna be trading Dak to the Titans for a first round pick and Kenneth Murray just for cap space reasons. This is slowly gonna start to feel like a fantasy draft rebuild. There are gonna be some players on interesting teams. And who would even be interested in Bo Nix? Nobody? Okay, cool. Oh. Okay, well, we're gonna trade Bo Nix and I guess Damari Mathis to the Browns for a second next year. That's definitely less value than I expected, but gotta do what we gotta do. But I think we're finally ready to get into this. I'll make sure all these quarterbacks are starting, and let's see how they all do in year 1. We can't expect too much for this first year from some of them, but you never know, they could surprise. Okay, that might be the scariest thing I've ever seen in this game. Why are his eyes like neon yellow? Or like, what is that? What am I looking at? Oh, it's his eyelashes? That's freaky. But okay, now at the end of the year, there was definitely some interesting stuff that happened. So as the Cowboys, it definitely didn't go super well. We went 5-12. I haven't seen Zach Wilson's numbers, but apparently what did I just say? Apparently he had a good week 18. But for the other quarterbacks, how did things go? It looks like the Jaguars made the playoffs at 10-7, but unfortunately for this first year, it looks like they might have been the only team out of ours that made the playoffs. The Steelers went 9-8. They were our best at the midseason, but they still missed them. They were 5-2. The Broncos ended up going 6-11. Of course, the Cowboys went 5-12. But hey, I mean, 2 winning records in year 1, that's not terrible. The Jags definitely aren't the team that I expected to make the playoffs, though. I guess it makes sense because they have the best quarterback from that class, but still. But let's check out the quarterback stats for this first year. Okay, so Trevor Lawrence, decent year, 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 15 picks though. I mean, good completion percentage. He didn't get sacked too much. Honestly, I thought he would do a lot better this first year. I mean, they made the playoffs, but those aren't like, I've seen him do much better in this game. I've seen him do way too well in this game before. But hey, it's only year 1. I mean, there's still tons of time. Zach Wilson wasn't too bad at all. 3,700 yards, 29 touchdown passes, only 20 picks, got sacked almost 40 times. That's rough. Justin Fields was kind of bad. 2,700 yards, almost 28, 18 touchdowns, 13 picks. Ooh. We'll see if he added anything in the run game. And then Trey Lance was so bad, it doesn't even show his stats. I was like, where is he? He's here. He's just invisible. That's cool. But I already saw his stats. This might be the worst quarterback performance I've ever seen in Madden. 3,200 yards, 19 touchdown passes, which if you just hear that, hey, that's not bad for Trey Lance. 33 interceptions. Not great. And he didn't even get sacked that much, just 25 times. Didn't even add much in the run game. I mean, 340 yards, but only 3.7 per carry. Which, speaking of that, let's also see how Justin Fields did. 460 yards, 8 touchdowns. We'll take that. I really doubt any of our QBs are going to be up there for MVP. Of course, Dak is. But no. Man, none for either AFC or NFC best QB either. That was hard for me to say for some reason. So rough first year, but that was definitely to be expected. I'm honestly surprised Zach Wilson didn't do worse. He was the one who most positively surprised me. But let's get into this first offseason. I don't know how much time I want to spend on the offseason. We'll see. But apparently we do need to make some of these teams better. And we'll have to see how far the Jaguars can end up going in the playoffs. I probably should have simulated that game by game now that I think about it. I definitely should have. Okay, I'll do that for the next few years. They were in the Super Bowl. Well, if our goal was to get some of these quarterbacks a Super Bowl win, we've already gotten 2 of them a Super Bowl win. Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. I mean, Mac Jones wasn't the starter, but still. Unfortunately, not Super Bowl MVP. That went to Christian Kirk, but still. That's crazy. Also, one of our players, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Troy Franklin. That's cool. Also, Offensive Player of the Year was Traylon Burks. That's something. So definitely for the next few years, I'll simulate game by game. I just did not think the Jags would go very far. But I should have known, because they're pretty good in simulation a lot of the time. They always seem to beat me in simulation, whether we have the better team or not. But all right, let's finally get into this first offseason. Now I'll say very successful start. So now we'll just see how many Super Bowl wins we can get these QBs. But in free agency, it's about the same players as usual. Nick Chubb, and that's mostly it. I mean, there's Amari Cooper who regressed a little bit. And you know, there are some good players, but a lot of these teams are surprisingly broke for some reason. Or at least they were. Maybe we'll have a little more cap now that we're actually in the offseason. At least we do as the Cowboys. And as the Cowboys, we are going to go for Nick Chubb. Other than Trey Lance, the worst thing with this team was the run game. Oh, well, I guess I can't show you because I let the running backs go. But believe it or not, Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott in 2024 wasn't a great duo. Oh, yeah, and we are going to finally add our 5th team. We'll see where Mac Jones goes, but he has 3 offers. Hopefully he gets a starting job and we don't have to trade away whatever QB he would be the backup to, but I mean, hey, we'll see. And actually, as the Broncos, I do maybe want to go for one player because Zach Wilson got sacked, 59 times? Or not 59, geez, 39, that's what I meant. Ooh, the receiving numbers were really good. 2 1,100-yard receivers, but it actually looks like the tackles were just the issue. And Quinn Miners, 7 sacks from right guard is crazy. I mean, not as crazy as 14 sacks from left tackle. I unfortunately think this might just have to be the classic hope it gets better next year, because I didn't really see a great tackle in free agency, and I re-signed Garrett Bowles because he wasn't doing that bad at the midseason. Apparently that might have been a mistake though, and a lot of the good tackles just aren't interested. Unfortunately, I think we're stuck with the tackles we have as the Broncos. Definitely don't want Jedrick Wills though. He was just as bad. But I think those are the only free agents we're going to go for. We're actually also going for Rashid Shaheed as the Cowboys, because that receiving core other than CeeDee Lamb is not great anymore. Why does it say we have no... Oh, we're on receiver. I'm stupid. But all right, let's see what players sign where. It looks like we do get Drew Dahlman as the Broncos. That's nice. Definitely more of a run blocker than a pass blocker, but honestly, that might work better in Madden. Seems like the good pass blockers in real life are terrible in Madden, and the good run blockers in real life are good at pass blocking for some reason. But Nick Chubb does thankfully go to the Cowboys. Also was thinking about Amari Cooper as the Cowboys, but the Rams had an offer I couldn't compete with. Marquise Brown right back to the Cardinals. That's something. But we do get Rashid Shaheed for the Cowboys. But the even bigger question for free agency is, where did Mac Jones go? He went to the Raiders. Of course he did. I mean, Gardner Minshew has been decent in real life. I feel like as a Washington State and Gardner Minshew fan, I feel like he's been been a little overrated, but he's still been good. But he will unfortunately be getting benched here for Mac Jones. But now, as the Raiders, I do want to see if there's anything we need to do to this team. Probably. Okay, well, things actually look pretty solid on offense. I mean, I don't love Zamir White being our only option at running back. I didn't really get the hype for him going into the season. Oh, we have no linebackers. And we have Joe Tryon playing off ball. What is this team? We only have one safety. Okay, this team needs way more work than the others. We have to make up for the questionable decisions that the CPU makes. So we're a little late to free agency here, but we'll still need to add somebody. Oh, wait, we can't. Not until next week, at least. I wonder if I, like, switch teams and then switch back if it'll let me? No, it doesn't. Well, that's rough. How about week 2? Maybe there'll still be some decent players left. Okay, definitely not anyone amazing. Oh, wait. Okay, the Raiders were already going for a few players, just not necessarily the ones I would have wanted. They're going for A.J. Dillon and Derek Forrest, but they didn't have that good of offers for either. But the players I wanted to go for are Elijah Mitchell, Tyrell Dodson, and Caden Stearns. Actually, I should check. Did they sign anyone in the first week? Well, I can just go to my signings. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, well, obviously they signed these two, but also Paris Campbell for some reason. Interesting group there. But we're making these 3 moves just so we have somebody at running back, somebody at linebacker, and somebody at safety. Not amazing players, but good ones. Even though Caden Stearns isn't on a team for some reason. I feel like he definitely should be. He's been pretty good for the Broncos. But why can't we sign? I'm pressing the button. Oh, maybe you can only simulate each part as the commissioner. Let me see. Okay, probably. So we'll see if those players sign. We do get Elijah Mitchell, Tyrell Dodson, and Caden Stearns. Okay, cool. That Raiders team is scary. That's not a great roster, but we'll try to make it decent. So very confusing free agent class over. We got what we needed, and let's get into this first draft. And how I think we're going to do the draft is I'm just going to show the first round picks so this doesn't take an eternity because I would like to go outside in the next week, but we'll see who we can draft. But okay, here in the draft, our highest pick is number 6 with the Cowboys, which is interesting. We've picked 9 as the Broncos. Nice. We've picked 14 as the Raiders. The gray is so light that I can't even read the number against it, but I can also barely see that the Saints are 13, but I can see it. We have number 18 as the Steelers. Oh yeah, and also 30 as the Cowboys for trading Dak. And then, of course, 32 as the Jags because they won the Super Bowl. I don't know if it'll let me, if I press simulate to next user pick, I'm scared of what it'll do. So I'll just simulate pick by pick, and that should be fine. But as the Cowboys, I focus scouted the tackles, and it seems like that was probably a pretty good idea. There's some solid ones. I don't know if they're great, but solid. We also found some first-round talent linebackers and a good corner. I think these are the positions we're actually going to look for, because the O-line wasn't even that bad this year. It was just Trey Lance, pretty much. But we definitely have some holes on defense, especially at linebacker. But that would be such a boring top 6 pick. A linebacker? How good is Dominic Wiggins? Was he the top 5 talent? There was a top 5 talent receiver. Oh no, it was probably Francois. Never mind. Okay, well, do the Cowboys need a corner? Not at all, but Quincy Zimmerman looks pretty good. I mean, 4.35 speed, elite speed, and acceleration. Pretty good ratings. If anything, I would definitely want to trade down here. Maybe that is what we should do. Trade down and then pick one of these linebackers. But we already have an extra first. That's the only problem. We don't need any more picks. You know what? Never mind. I will trade down. There's no reason to take this pick when everyone we want is projected to go much later. So we're going to trade down with the Browns. We're going to get a 2 and a 3, which that's fine value. But now as the Broncos, I might steal the player I was thinking about going with in Cody Phillips. The tackles were absolutely horrible for some reason. And Cody Phillips, I mean, look at his ratings. He definitely has his issues, like his finesse isn't great, but almost everything else is an A. Elite strength. I don't think he's necessarily worth this pick, but I think he's close, so we're gonna take him. Never mind, he's worth the pick. Ranked number 7. Got him at 9. We'll take it. But now as the Raiders, their focus position was unfortunately quarterback. There is a good one in Mick Windsor, but obviously we aren't gonna take him. Unfortunately, there just aren't a lot of great options here either. I think the best is one of these 2 linebackers. Either that or a receiver, or a corner, or a defensive tackle. This team sucks. This is not a good team. Let's see, who are the good receivers? Okay, there's Gales and Rudy McDonald, our first-round talents out of who's left. I switched back to the Raiders, but it kept the yellow background. Whatever. Receiver isn't technically the biggest need for the Raiders right now, but it will be in the future. Both Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers are getting older, and other than those two, there's nobody here. So we'll go with Gales. Ranked What? Cody Phillips is ranked number 7. You took him at 9. That is not who this is. All right, cool. So I guess we'll never know where he's ranked. We know he's a first-round talent at least, so whatever. But now the Cowboys. I think we'll go with Heron. He has really good ratings, 3 elite traits. The other linebacker could actually be better. Marcus Davis, he might actually be better, but they do look similar enough. Maybe Davis is better because he actually has elite speed. I don't know. I think they're similar either way. Let's go with Davis. Why not? Ranked number 7, took him at number 9. Let's go. Cool. I knew something was going to break when I did this. I was just worried it would like unpause the draft clock and start picking for us or something. But now coming down to the end of this first draft, the Steelers, which it's still stuck as the yellow background. This is going to be a massive reach technically, and we could probably get away with taking him in the second round at least. Should I just do that and not take him here? I mean, he would be worth it, but we could easily get him later. Oh, Zimmerman went at corner. I might have taken him here. Actually, there is a 20-year-old prospect. Now, this would still be a reach, but a lot of the time, 20-year-old players in Madden are so easy to develop. I might just do that. This is such a weird pick, but we do need a receiver really bad as the Steelers. All right, again, weird pick, but I think it'll work out. We're going to take him. Ranked 7, picked him at 9. Let's go. He does have hidden dev, thankfully, which is the big thing. He was probably only ranked like 40 or something, so this probably wasn't the best pick, but again, development. But second to last pick I'm going to show as the Cowboys. Let's see, Ryan Washington is still available. He looked good. There is also Rudy McDonald. We know he's a first-round talent. Let's just go with Washington because, wait, what did I do earlier for the Cowboys? Okay, this is where I took Marcus Davis. I forgot it shows the whole draft board now, thankfully, because I didn't remember. I knew I took Marcus Davis to one team. I just didn't remember which one because I knew the Raiders also needed a linebacker, but that's where I took Gales. Okay, so I'm going to go with Washington here. The blocking wasn't the worst, but I'm worried it will get worse, and we're going to need at least one new lineman, so we'll go with Washington. Ranked 7, took him at number 9. Let's go. Cool. Would be nice to know how good these players are, but whatever. And now last pick, the first pick for the Jaguars. Oh, I did not think there were 2 top 5 talent safeties. One did get taken, but George Perriman is still here. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I was literally gonna say, I was gonna mention that there were 2 top 5 talent safeties, and I was gonna say I'm disappointed we didn't get to take one, but we do. Now, honestly, he looks fine. I'm surprised he's a top 5 talent. I mean, he's really fast. That's absolutely what carries him, but I mean, the A pursuit is good, but he doesn't have an A coverage rating. He's pretty much just speed, but hey, we'll take that. Ranked number 7, took him at number 9. We'll take it. But I'll take, I think, a few of these second round picks. But honestly, the first round is the major one that's gonna matter because we already just took a lot of the good players off the board. There are still a few, that's why I'll take a few more, but there aren't too many amazing players left, so we'll see how we did in the draft. But okay, in the draft, first of all, I do want to check who the best players in the class were. This honestly doesn't look like that good of a class, though. I mean, Francois is the highest overall player I see, and he's only an 81, which is good, but usually there are players better than that. I do see a few other 80s, though, to be fair. But let's see. Ooh. Okay, well, at least we got who was tied for the highest overall player in the class. Noel was the other safety. He was 1 pick before Perriman, but I'm glad he went because I probably would have taken him and made a mistake. I should have maybe thought about Wiggins instead of trading down as the Cowboys, but it worked out either way. But let's go in order of our picks. So as the Broncos, Cody Phillips. The game really wanted to get the point across that we took him at 9 and he was ranked number 7. We only saw that about 40 times, but he's good. Darren Gales, he was solid, 76 overall, so he was probably ranked about like in the 20s. So that was pretty good. We'll take that. Marcus Davis, same deal. He's a 76 too. I guess they could have been in the teens too. Let's actually find out. Okay, 76 overall is perfectly tied for 20th. Actually, there were only 4 76 overalls and we managed to pick 3 of them. That's kind of weird. So those were good picks. Carmen is a 75. Ooh, that was the best receiver we took probably, because again, he's only 20. And then Ryan Washington is a 77. He was a good player. And then of course, George Perriman was tied for the highest overall in the class, so we did very well. My last pick was, well, we took Rudy McDonald. He was a 76 to the Cowboys. And then Denzel Hutchins, he was a 77 to the Broncos. I guess we should also check how the CPU did. I mean, honestly, pretty well for the Broncos, a 75 and a 73. Oh, we didn't need another lineman, but we kind of needed a safety. The Cowboys, lots of 74 overalls. It's trying to replace Trey Lance, but we won't allow it to do that. good tight end, good guard, and good receiver. Why can't the CPU draft this well for me normally? It normally picks like a 64 overall in the 3rd round or something. But the Jaguars, okay, we didn't need another safety or a running back, really. It got good players, but why? We did kind of need a linebacker, so that's cool. A guard, we'll take it. Raiders, okay, that wasn't great. That was really bad, actually. And then Steelers, also really, really bad. Okay, this is what the CPU normally does. Why a QB round 2? It makes sense to try to replace someone like Trey Lance, but I guess Justin Fields did bad statistically, but the game doesn't know that. It just goes off of overalls. So some of these drafts were questionable, but we did well for the most part. But let's finally get into year 2. That was a long year 1, longer than I expected, but we'll see how these teams are looking. I don't know how much time I'm gonna spend going every roster, but I'll at least show them so y'all know what's happening. But as the Broncos heading into year 2, it's set up very well for Zach Wilson here. Troy Franklin, obviously offensive rookie of the year, so he got superstar dev. Denzel Mims didn't develop as much as I would have liked, but I mean, he's still solid. And the O-line, the big issue, should hopefully be mostly fixed. I mean, we kind of replaced what weren't the biggest issues, but it's at least upgraded as a whole. So we're just gonna hope that fixes it. If not, then Garrett Bowles is getting cut, probably. The defense isn't the notable side of the ball for this whole rebuild, but Baron Browning hit a breakout at the midseason and got superstar dev, so that was fun. Also, Chris Abrams-Drain and Jonah Ellis got star dev, so that's cool. But the Jaguars, obviously Super Bowl winners for some reason. Trevor Lawrence, he might have had superstar actually. Yeah, looks like he did, but hey, can't complain about winning a Super Bowl. I do think Christian Kirk and maybe Travis Etienne both gained superstar. Okay, maybe I'm just a liar. Apparently he also had it, but either way, we have a lot of superstars. The CPU also signed arguably one of the players of all time in Skylar Thompson. That's fun. Great backup there. Okay, I know for a fact Foye Oluokun gained X Factor. Am I just insane? Maybe. Okay, no, he gained X Factor. Okay, cool. Jarian Jones went up to Superstar too, which is cool. And I decided to move Perriman to corner. I'm glad the CPU also drafted Hilton, but it kind of messed up my plans a little bit because I didn't want to have Hilton as a backup with, you know, hidden dev. So I just moved Perriman to slot corner over Darnell Savage. So that works out. But this is a really good team now. So now it'll miss the playoffs. Can't wait. But for the Steelers, this isn't like our best overall team or anything, but it's pretty close, I think. The only concern I have with this team is the lack of like superstars on offense. I mean, I guess Najee Harris has superstar dev, but like he's only an 85 playing up to an 86. Like there just isn't a great player here. There are lots of good players, but nobody that's too insane. Now, our best shot at that, I think, is either Najee Harris or Brian Carman. We'll try to get him a ton of production. I'll put him as like the slot receiver and maybe the number 2 or something. I don't know. But the defense is obviously where there's some pretty good players on this team. Just decent ones. Unfortunately, though, I realized I might have overlooked a position. I signed Isaiah Rodgers out of free agency just now because this was our starting corner group for a second, so forgot to address that. I'm surprised the CPU didn't draft anyone there. I mean, it made about 1 million picks, but no corners. Either way, though, it should be fine. I mean, Isaiah Rodgers starting definitely isn't the worst. But okay, the Cowboys might be our best setup team for success. The only problem is Trey Lance might be our worst performing quarterback. I mean, he easily was. I don't know if that was just a fluke, but I guess we'll find out. Like, those are absurd numbers, especially for Madden. I mean, Madden passing numbers are usually much better than real life passing numbers. That would be like 14 touchdowns to 40 picks in real life or something. Like, that was a horrible year. But he has absolutely no excuses here. I mean, this is an amazing receiving core. He has Nick Chubb as his running back, healthy Nick Chubb, a good offensive line, and a good defense, which is mostly the same as last year, just Davis was the new addition here. This could be either our best team this year or our worst, depending on how Trey Lance does, and that's like the only factor here. I mean, I guess you never know how your O-line's gonna play, but it was good last year. But again, no excuses for Trey Lance here. It's not like we're gonna replace him, but he eventually needs to start doing well, or at least better than whatever last year was. But I think we unfortunately saved the worst for last in the Raiders. Only an 81 overall. There are definitely some pieces here, at least on offense. The receiving core I feel good about for now, but for the future, I am very worried about it. It's not set up super well for Mac Jones. I don't think we'll have much of a running game either. The O-line is good on paper, but we'll see how it plays. We at least have Brock Bowers, so that's cool. But the defense, other than Max Crosby and I guess Christian Wilkins, there's nothing. I mean, it's only a 79 overall. I guess there are solid players, like Nate Hobbs is good, Jack Jones, Malcolm Kuntz, the safeties, but the linebackers, man, and even the safeties. Like, we're gonna start Mullins at safety because he has upside, having a hidden dev, but right now he's only a 72 overall. And I mean, even if we went with Caden Stearns is only a 76, I guess playing up to a 77. So this defense has its issues. It's fixable. It's better to be in a situation where you have great players, but need a little more, than to be in a situation where you have, like, just a bunch of mid. So at least we have a couple good players on defense, but the rest of it's a little scary. So Mac Jones might have his work cut out for him, but we'll see. You never know. But all right, I think that was all the teams. So let's get to the end of the year once again, and hopefully more of our teams can make the playoffs this year. I don't think we're going to win the Super Bowl this year, but I mean, you never know. We do have the Jags, Cowboys, and Raiders, who are three really good teams in simulation, especially in the playoffs. So we'll see. But okay, in year 2, we definitely had some mixed results this year. As our main team, the Broncos, we went 4-13 with the worst offense in the league. However, as the Jaguars, we went 12-5 this year. The Jaguars are apparently our team, which again is a little disappointing because that's the team with the best quarterback from the 2021 class. But again, it's not like Trevor Lawrence has lived up to the hype yet, so I guess that's still valid. I do think he's underrated / overhated, whichever one you want to say, but still. But as the Steelers, 9-8 once again, and once again the second best team. Now, the one that surprises me the most is as the Cowboys, we missed the playoffs, especially because we were 5-2 at the midseason. I think the same thing with the Steelers. We were also 5-2. We were 6-0 with the Jags, but they at least ended up being good. But the Broncos, of course, went 4-13, and I don't see the Raiders. I only see 31 teams ranked, so I think we know what that means. They were the worst team in the league, going 3-14. Rough start for Mac Jones on the Raiders. But finally, let's check out our quarterback stats. Interesting year for Zach Wilson again. Oh, I also saw something else interesting, something I didn't expect, but, well, kind of. But Trevor Lawrence, really good year, 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns again. I think both of those are about the same, but only 9 picks this year. And a 75 completion percentage, the best in the league. Okay, we're making him really good, apparently. But let's see. Not the best year for Tua. Okay, unfortunately, Trey Lance did much better this year. Not great, but not the worst either. 26 touchdowns, 17 picks, only a 61 completion percentage though, but did hit 4,000 yards, much better. Mac Jones was kind of horrible, 3,200 yards, 22 touchdowns, 14 picks. I mean, that's not horrible, but not great. Zach Wilson doing his best Jameis Winston impression, 25-25, trying to put up Jameis 30 for 30 numbers. And once again, there's still one quarterback that's missing, and a weird blank spot at the bottom. I wonder who that could be. That would be Justin Fields, who I saw had like a 78 passer rating, which was the worst in the league, 2,800 yards, 17 touchdowns, 16 picks. I did not expect him to be the worst out of this group. I didn't think he would be the best, but I mean, low-key plug here. If you didn't already see the last video I did, the Rams signed him, and I think he won an MVP on the Rams, or at least he was like second and up there pretty much every year. So I wish we could have that Justin Fields here. And he wasn't even that good on the ground. Just 300 yards, 4 per carry, 2 touchdowns. What's a run-heavy playbook in Madden? A quarterback run-heavy playbook. Okay, well, the Ravens, that makes sense. Do I want to try that? I feel like the Ravens' offense isn't that good as a whole in Madden. We could try that, though. But honestly, Lamar's been not great here. But I do think we need to take better advantage of his scrambling ability. I mean, doesn't he have the all-time record for rushing yards in a year for a QB? I think think we might want to utilize that. That might be a good idea. Maybe a little bit cursed to use the Ravens playbook as the Steelers, but whatever. Plus, I mean, Najee Harris ends up becoming really good in franchise a lot of the time. But as the Jaguars, once again, our only team in the playoffs, I'm not going to switch to the Jaguars. I'll just switch to the commissioner because I feel like usering the team is a curse. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to stay as the Broncos, and we'll just watch from a distance to see how the Jaguars do. But they're in the wild card against the Chiefs, so that's unlucky. Now that I'm watching them and paying attention to them, they're probably going to lose this game, but let's find out. Can we win in the wild card as the Jags with Trevor Lawrence? We do. 28-20. Also, the Chargers were the 1 seed. They've had a better start to the year than I've expected in real life, but I mean, I guess you never know. This is in the future too. I just don't know if that receiving core is good enough to be that good of a team. But the Jags are now going to be facing the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional. So can they move on to the conference championship? They do. Man, the Jags are just way too good of a team in franchise, honestly. I mean, they have a good overall team here, but I would guess the Ravens and Chiefs are like 88s, probably something like that. The Jags, I think, were only an 84, which is good, but like not as good of an overall, I wouldn't think. But now we're going to be taking on the Bills in the conference championship. Can the Jags move on to back-to-back Super Bowls with Trevor Lawrence? And they do, 20-10. And it's going to be a Jags-Eagles Super Bowl this year. Also, I see Rudy McDonald won Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Cowboys. That's huge. I should check some of those other awards before we see what happens in the Super Bowl, because we could have had players up here this year. No Trevor Lawrence for MVP, though. Traylon Burks also, again, up there. That's so interesting. Oh, yeah, and I forgot we were the Raiders. Max Crosby wins Defensive Player of the Year with TJ Watt at number 2. But Darren Gales at number 3 for AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Parker Hilton at 3 for AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then for NFC, Micah Parsons wins Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy McDonald, of course, wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then Marcus Davis at 3 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Of course, the Cowboys always up there for every award. But all right, finally, can the Jaguars win back-to-back Super Bowls here? That is not something I thought we would be saying heading into this rebuild/experiment. Ooh, it looks like Brandon Sheriff is retiring, unfortunately, for the Jags. Doesn't show me what the score was, thanks EA. But in the Super Bowl, no. Okay, the Eagles do win, unfortunately. We can't go back-to-back, but hey, we've made 2 Super Bowls as the Jags in 2 years. Pretty good start either way. But let's get into another offseason. Oh, we got some good dev traits for the Broncos. Both Hutchins and Phillips have superstar. Oh, and we gained a lot of superstars on defense and X Factor for Baron Browning, so that's huge. We'll get more into like the team and the dev traits at the start of next year, but I'll get the re-signings worried about, and we will see who's available in free agency. One interesting thing I might do for the Broncos, though, is never mind. I think I already re-signed him. I was gonna say I might let Cortland Sutton go, but I probably should have because he regressed down to an 82. I guess it's fine that we brought him back, but we definitely could use a higher upside piece there. But okay, as the Raiders in free agency, it's a solid class. It's not great, though. That's the only problem. It's better than last year overall. I mean, there isn't as high of an overall player as Nick Chubb, but there are more good players rather than like one amazing player. The best being Javon Holland, but we do need a safety as the Raiders. He just isn't interested in the Raiders. We'll probably sign him to one of our teams, though, if he is interested in one. But as the Raiders, we're gonna go for Tyler Algier, which the problem with that is the Chargers are also interested, very interested, just like us. And then we're also just gonna re-sign Dylan Parham because, like, I don't know, I was maybe wanting Joe Tooney, but he's too expensive if we're also going for Tyler Algier. There is also James Cook, but 3.5 yards per carry. Now, Algier only had 3.9, but that's better, and a lot better than the 3.3 we had. Actually, how does Brian Robinson do? Hard to say. He's been the number 2. He had 2.7 one year, but 4.3 this year, so we'll just try to get Algier, but if we don't, we'll definitely sign one of these two. I mean, we need somebody at running back. But as the Jaguars in free agency, being our best team so far, I want to try to make them even better, to try to get them back to another Super Bowl, but there just really aren't that many upgrades. Now, Brandon Scherf did retire, so we're going to go for Joe Tooney. I've had mixed results with him. He's played great before. He's played horribly other times, so we'll see how he does here. It looks like he's been good. He only allowed 3 sacks at left guard for the last 2 years. 3 sacks each year. Our O-line definitely isn't bad either. Like, I just moved Anton Harrison into right guard and then Hodges into center because apparently Mitch Morse also retired, fired, or we let him go. I don't know. I don't remember. We pretty much have a whole offensive line of guys that should maybe be tackles, with Cleveland and Harrison at guard. Actually, Cam Robinson's maybe the opposite. He maybe should be a guard, but whatever. So we definitely have a solid line, but Tooney would be an upgrade. But as the Steelers, really our big needs are secondary, and more secondary. So we are going to at least try to fix 2 out of those 3 needs. Now, we can obviously draft another corner. I think that is what we will do, but we are going to go for Javon Holland as the Steelers. Now, we do have the lead for him. That doesn't always guarantee that you'll get the player for some reason, even though, as I always say, it takes everything into account, so I don't know why you wouldn't get the player. Like, the top offer doesn't just go off of money. It goes off of literally, like, everything, like closeness to home, fit, how good the team is, all that. So we should be able to get him, but we'll see. And then we're also going to go for Martin Emerson. Again, we're another aspect of a division rival now going to be on the Steelers, assuming we get him. So cursed, but we'll try to get Martin Emerson. Hasn't really had the best start in real life, but was good last year. As the Cowboys, honestly, we don't really have any needs. I mean, I'm sure there's something, right? Let me look at the stats. My guess is Tyler Guyton was bad, but oh god. Okay, I wasn't looking at how many times these quarterbacks got sacked. Remember how when I drafted the right tackle, I was like, the blocking wasn't a problem this year, but it probably will be in the future? This is what I feared. This was even worse than I expected. Okay, so Tyler Guyton, we're probably going to have to find a new left tackle because I don't think he was even good last year. No. He has allowed 28 sacks in 2 seasons. That's like getting cut off the team bad. Like, that's worst tackle in the league bad in real life. Same with Cooper Beebe. Like, that's ridiculous. Last year, he only allowed 1, too. Like, I don't understand this game. Ryan Washington was terrible. Tyler Smith was terrible. Our only good lineman was our oldest in Zach Martin, who's honestly kind of fallen off in real life. I wouldn't even say he's the Cowboys' best lineman anymore. I would probably just say Tyler Smith, but he's definitely still the best here. So we see what our issues are, but are we going to be able to fix that? I don't know. There really isn't a left tackle. Now, there is a right tackle. We could get creative with this offensive line. Y'all know I like signing Taylor Moton if you've seen my videos before. Most of the time he does well. He has his moments, but overall he's like one of the best performing linemen in this game, which are hard to come by. So I think he's going to be our signing as the Cowboys. Now, our defense sucked, and to that I say, let's just change the playbook because the Cowboys defense always sucks in Madden. I don't like the players do well. Overall, the defense doesn't though. Y'all already know what I'm going with. Buffalo defense. Am I repetitive with my decisions in franchise? Yes, but that's because I want these teams to actually do well. So cry about it. I don't care. But as the Broncos, okay, Garrett Bowles hasn't been as bad as Tyler Guyton, but let's trade him. I don't want him. God, these are not realistic trades, but whatever. Now, I want to keep this video mostly realistic. Let me see. The team's interested. It looks like the Packers have the best offer, so they still have Rasheed Walker. I really don't think Garrett Bowles would be an upgrade for them. Ooh. Okay, well, the Bengals would definitely need him, but they can't afford him. Okay, we'll send him to the Commanders for a 3rd-round pick. I don't know what we're gonna do at left tackle, but it would be hard to be worse than Garrett Bowles. I shouldn't have said that. Now we are gonna somehow find a worse tackle, but even if we do, whatever. It's bad anyways. Let's actually go for Braden Smith. Again, I've had very mixed results with him. He's done pretty well sometimes. He's also been horrible sometimes, but again, what other choice do we really have? We're the only team interested, so that's good. Should be able to get him. We'll move one of our right tackles to left tackle. I don't know which, but I think that was all 5 teams, right? Yeah, it was. So let's switch back to the Broncos. I really do free agency weird. Like, I don't really sign any lower level players. I just worry about that in the draft. I really just go for what the big upgrades would be. So let's see out of those players who signs where. So we get Braden Smith as the Broncos. Of course, Tyler Algier goes to the Chargers. We get Joe Tooney as the Jags. We get Taylor Moton as the Cowboys. Ooh, a lot of players didn't sign, though. The Falcons signed a ton of players, but there are still a lot of players we're going for that haven't signed yet. Okay, we do still have the lead for Javon Holland and Martin Emerson as the Steelers. They just didn't want to sign. I just assumed we got, like, passed up or something, but we still have the lead. And then as the Raiders, the only player we for sure didn't get was obviously Tyler Algier. Now, I don't really want James Cook. We'll take a chance on Brian Robinson. I just really have not seen James Cook do very well in franchise before, especially in Madden 25. So I think Brian Robinson is going to be our only new signing. Really, the big player we want for any of these teams is Javon Holland to create the best safety duo in the league on the Steelers. But all right, let's see who signs. Javon Holland still doesn't sign, but Brian Robinson does thankfully go to the Raiders. And still, Martin Emerson hasn't signed either. Also, the Raiders still haven't gotten Dylan Parham back. These players are picky. I don't know. We still have the lead for Holland and Emerson. But okay, will they finally sign? Okay, Javon Holland thankfully goes to the Steelers. That's huge. And does Martin Emerson sign? If not, again, it's not the end of the world. He does. Okay, cool. So big upgrades here. But now let's once again get to the draft. And man, we'll have to see what we want to do. We've made a lot of these teams pretty good. Obviously, there's still work to do on a lot of them, but we're making progress. But okay, in the draft, we have the number 1 pick as the Raiders, number 4 is the Broncos, number 14 is the Cowboys, number 18 again as the Steelers, and 31 as the Jaguars. We also could make a trade here. Which team was it? Let me see. Oh, by the way, Trevor Lawrence is playing up to a 95 overall, base 91, but 95 with morale and everything. Okay, it was the Raiders. Nick Clifton, the QB the CPU picked, has superstar. Now, I don't know how much we could get for him, but I mean, a superstar QB at only 22 years old is gonna become good. I think that would be worth a first-round pick. I don't know if it would be worth a high first, but that's a quarterback that's going to become good. Wait, did I pause the draft clock? Okay, I must have. It's definitely been more than 2 minutes. I keep scaring myself. I hate that you have to do that. It should just not be on if you have the draft clock off, but you always have to go and manually pause it for some reason, which wasn't a thing last year. It's something else they broke. But with the number 1 pick, I think I know who I want to go with. Now, unfortunately, I didn't focus scout the receivers for any team. Dre Jeffrey looks good, but like he only ran a 4.51. Meh. I mean, he's a playmaker, so he might be a top 5 talent, but he doesn't look that crazy. Who does look good is Marcus Carlisle. Now, y'all know what I say if you've seen these videos before. Defensive linemen are never as good as they look in Madden for some reason. However, we know that Carlisle is a top 5 talent, so we can trust him. So many A ratings. I mean, you would think based off these ratings that this guy would be the number 1 player in the class, and he still might be actually. But just from experience, a lot of the time I take defensive tackles and they're not as good as they look. But we'll see. We'll take Carlisle. Don't know how good he is, but he's gotta be pretty good. But as the Broncos at number 4, I don't know what to do here. There was a really good corner. Unfortunately, he went at number 2. He was a top 5 talent. I don't even know if we need him on the Broncos though. Do we? Oh yeah, we kind of do. I mean, we at least have 2 good corners, but like Riley Moss is only a 71 playing up to a 73. We also need a safety. We also need a number 2 linebacker. We also need, okay, I might have overlooked some needs on this team. We actually do have a few issues. I mean, we can fill these positions out in the preseason, but I just was too focused on how bad the offensive line was, which to be fair, it was bad. But let's see, Julian Wright isn't a top 5 talent. Look at his ratings. I guess he only has C pursuit. I mean, he has great speed and acceleration, elite agility. I'm really surprised he isn't a top 5 talent. This must be a really good class. I mean, we still might take the corner just because. We could also maybe use a D tackle, but I don't have him focus scouted. I do for one of the teams, but honestly, I just don't really feel like looking. There isn't a top 5 guard this year or anything either. A top 5 talent. Man. Ooh. Okay, we do kind of need a tight end. Troy Simmons looks insane. He looks like a terrible blocker, but elite speed and jumping. That's a lot of A ratings for receiving. I guess this would be a risky pick because he could have like C medium route and C deep route. Let me see. I'm yapping too much. I'm just trying to think what would be the best strategy here. It's hard to go super wrong either way. Let's just go with Julian Wright. I feel like it's harder to find a good safety than it is to find a good corner. We can probably just sign a corner. So let's go with Julian Wright. Ranked 6. Okay, that was a really, really, really good pick. I honestly thought that was going to be a little bit of a reach. Okay, this must be a really strong draft class because he is good. He is as good as he looks, apparently. So we'll take that. But as the Cowboys at number 14, again, don't really know what we're going to do. We kind of need maybe a corner or a defensive tackle. I can't fully remember who I focus scouted. I think I did 2 defensive tackles. That is what I did. Neither of them are great, though. And then I focus scouted Lamar Bass. I mean, that would technically be kind of a reach based on where he's projected to go, but it would be worth it. I mean, he would probably have normal dev, but he's good. I mean, we could definitely get him later, but what are you gonna say? It's not worth taking him? We probably should just take him later, but I don't know if we would take him to another team first. I guess we would just be stealing from ourselves. And we'll take him here, why not? Ranked number 6, got him at number 4. Let's go. Great pick. But the Steelers at 18, this is the team where we did focus scout corners, or that was our focus position. And there are 3 mid first round talents left. I'm gonna go with one of them, just which one do I think is the best? Okay, PJ Groves has elite speed, solid acceleration. This is like a math problem. Solid agility, great change of direction. Patton has great speed, great acceleration, good agility, solid change of direction. And then Alfonso Kerr has good speed, elite acceleration, great agility, good change of direction. So I guess if you average those out, has like the best, I guess. I mean, we know they're all first round talents anyways. He's probably the worst in terms of coverage ratings though. We'll just go with Patton. I mean, he ran a 4.39 and has A awareness, or A man, B press, B zone, and C play rec, which is basically an A, because B's and C's don't exist for corners, for play rec. Out of Northern Illinois, that's something. We'll take him. Ranked 6, got him at number 4. Also hidden dev. We're 3 for 3 on hidden devs, right? Which is hard to do, especially when 2 of them are corners, a position that normally has normal dev, or at least a lot of them do, even if they're good. But now we should start thinking about, do we want to trade that quarterback that the CPU picked for the Raiders? Are any teams interested in him? Oh, no, there isn't a team. Okay. Would he start for anyone? I mean, I guess he would start for the Broncos, but would he start for anyone that isn't one of our teams? Oh, he actually wouldn't. Well, no, he would start for the Seahawks. 28. They're 27-year-old rookies with 90. What is this player? Hold on. What? I didn't know that was a thing. I thought the max was 24. I mean, unless they're rare, I don't see any. I don't even see any 24. What am I doing? I'm sorting by the wrong thing. Okay, there is a 24-year-old. I'm smart, by the way. Definitely. Okay, no, the oldest I see is 24, so either those are rare or there's some kind of glitch where it makes players older. I did see they messed up some ages for rosters, which is annoying because you can't even change it. And I had already started my custom rosters by that point, so I was like, whatever. And I mean, the Seahawks have already spent their first round pick, but whatever, I'll take a second. Better than having a backup quarterback that will never get to play. But now our final pick that I'm going to show for this year, the Jaguars. I don't know what we're going to do here. I feel like I asked this in free agency too, but what's even a need on this team? I mean, maybe like receiver for the future, because Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk aren't super young, but like that's it. I mean, we're like perfect on defense. We don't have a single even questionable position other than maybe defensive tackle, but Mason Smith is still like 23. Yeah, 23. So that'll be fine. Guess we'll look for a lineman. The linemen weren't that good though. We could just trade this down, but honestly, I don't feel like it. So do we have any upcoming contracts that, you know, we could just part ways with one of these players and draft someone here to replace them? I guess there are a few, but okay, maybe a defensive tackle, because Eric Armstead's deal is almost up and he's 32, but I didn't really see that good of a defensive tackle. Okay, and Devon Hamilton. All right, this is going to be a reach of a pick, but we'll take a defensive tackle. Never mind, they all look bad. I guess we could go with like, oh, they all have D block shedding. Jared Hoskins looks fine, but not that good. And he's projected to go in the 3rd round. Let's just go with a lineman. We'll figure that out when we have to. Actually, I lied. I kind of like Brandon Moore. Actually, do I? He has C to F release, D catch in traffic, does have elite acceleration and a medium route. Yeah, why not? Ranked number 6, got him at 4. Let's go. Normal dev though. That was definitely a draft. I feel like we got some good players, but it's getting harder for some teams to know who to draft, which I guess is a good thing. It means the teams are getting better, so we'll take it. But okay, in the draft, as the Broncos, Julian Wright was a very good pick. I should have predicted an 81 because that's what I originally thought he was going to be before I, focus scouted him. But yeah, he's a very good player. We'll have to see if we want to play him, I guess, at free safety. We'll figure something out. But I also took Hoskins and Weiss there, whatever. Hoskins at least has star dev, so he'll start. Oh, he's only 286 though. I don't know about him at nose tackle. We'll see. I guess we kind of have a whole small D-line because because we also have John Franklin Myers and Zach Allen, so that's tough. But for the rest of our teams, oh, okay, well, Carlisle's only an 81. I mean, that's still really good. I thought he could be even better than that, but I mean, I can't complain too much. An 81 is an 81. The best player in the class was the running back, James Mitchell. Also, all of the top 5 picks were perfectly 81 overalls, and then it stopped when it got to pick 6. That's interesting. But let's see, who else did we get? Lamar Bass is a 78. He's a really good player. Again, technically a reach based on where he was supposed to go, but not a reach on how good he is. He'll probably only have star dev, but I guess he could have superstar. Bradley Patton, also a 78 overall corner. We'll take it. And then Brandon Moore is only a 75. He honestly isn't that good. I mean, he's fine, but no dev trade either. Okay, that was our first, like, not great pick out of the first round. I mean, at least it was at the very end, but I had my concerns about it for a reason. But PJ Groves, another 78 overall corner. He's good. Weiss is fine. Same with Hoskins. And then that was my last pick. Tremaine Givens to the Raiders. He's good. Let's just check class by class. I feel like that would be better than what I'm doing. CPU didn't do great for the Jaguars either. I'm glad it took a defensive tackle, but Junior Beckham isn't very good. And then a couple 73 overalls. CPU did really well for the Raiders. A 75, which we already saw, and then another 75. Donnie Lang? I don't know. And then the rest was all 72s. Another QB. I guess we do need a backup QB, and that was the 4th round rather than the 2nd, but still. And then the Steelers. Ooh. Okay, Mitch Bates is whatever, but Levi Coleman, 76 overall safety. No dev trait, but still good. We went from having like no secondary to now a super deep and amazing secondary. And then Juan Graham, he'll be a middle linebacker for us, but hidden dev as a run stopper, that's kind of rare. I mean, not super rare, but not super common either. You know what we haven't gotten yet is like a late round blocking tight end. Have they existed? I want to check. Oh, I was thinking about taking Ray Cardova. He's a 75. That's who I was between with the Broncos, either Cardova or Weiss, and I took Weiss. Oh well. There's at least been one blocking tight end in the 5th, Andy Pryor. He's whatever. Ooh, Simmons and Tyson were both good tight ends. This was actually a really good tight end class. Only one good blocking tight end though. That's surprising. Normally there are like 3 X factors. But all right, anyways, let's get into year 3. And once again, we will see how the teams are looking. As you would hope, we are making them better and better as the years go. But what we really want is for multiple of the teams to make the playoffs. So hopefully that can happen. But for the Broncos heading into the year, we're looking better because I think we were an 81 heading into the start of last year. So we are better, I think, if we were an 81. I'm pretty sure we were. Definitely still some concerns on defense, like linebacker. I'm still undecided if I want to start Asamoah or Wall. I guess Wall just because he's a rookie. I mean, he's not as good, but he should develop a little bit. And for the secondary, I don't know who I want to start. Brandon Jones was the highest overall slot corner out of any of our safeties, or not highest, but the one who went down the least in overall. But I also want to get Clancy some playing time because he has hidden dev. I just don't know where. Wait, how good is he in run defense? I mean, he's good, but how about Bowen? Okay, he's actually pretty good. So I'm thinking, let's put him, we're getting goofy here. Let's put him at linebacker. Don't know how that's going to go, but we really don't have anyone there. So, I mean, he stays as a 78. I guess he was a 78 run support safety. He only has 51 block shedding, but whatever, it's fine. That works, that's fine. So yeah, as the Broncos, we're looking good. We really don't have that many concerns anymore. I still am worried about Drew Dahlman because he was terrible, and I'm worried about the tackles just because they're tackles in Madden. They usually do bad. But overall, feeling solid. We're set up decently well for Zach Wilson. Not our best team, but I don't think it's our worst. There's definitely at least one that's worse. That would be the Raiders at an 82 overall, which, well, I was gonna say it's not that bad, but this team is pretty bad. Still, we have the same issues of not really having that good of linebackers. I guess that's maybe something I should have checked in free agency, but too late now. But we do have some potential, at least. We have a lot of solid safeties, but just no great ones. But I mean, Lang, he has hidden dev. He's a rookie. I guess he could develop. The only problem is he's already 23, but whatever. We'll still start him. Oh yeah, and also, by the way, Malcolm Kuntz last year had 14.5 sacks, and Max Crosby had 21.5, which, by the way, that was kind of disappointing that he only finished with 21.5 because he had 14.5 by the midseason. He had the same amount Malcolm Kuntz had all year at the midseason, and 14.5 is still crazy for a full year. So he was on pace for like 30 something, only finished with 21.5, but we'll take 21.5. And despite having 14.5 sacks, Malcolm Kuntz didn't even get star dev. I love this game. But yeah, Mac Jones' team, not the best, but it has potential. I actually do want to check really quick. Is an 82 the lowest overall in the league? It could be close. Okay, no, the Saints have an 80, the Panthers have an 81, the Commanders have an 81, so it isn't the worst. Bills have an 81, so it is our worst team, but at least not the worst. But the Jacksonville Jaguars are best team so far, not in terms of overall, but definitely performance. They're still looking good. Only an 85 overall offense, but an 87 overall defense. And I mean, there isn't really that much to say about this team. It's really just the same team, other than we signed Joe Tooney. And was that legitimately it? Who did we even draft? I don't remember. Who was our first round pick? Was it Odom? I don't think it was Odom. No, he was third. Oh yeah, it was the receiver. Brandon Moore. Do we want to start him? How old's Gabe Davis? Is he like 29? Oh, wait, what? How old is Gabe Davis in real life? He's only 25? It feels like he's been around for so long. I guess he has been since 2020, but that isn't that long. So I guess we'll just keep starting him. So that was probably a wasted pick, but whatever. But yeah, hopefully we can keep the success up with the Jags, especially because there was really no roster turnover this year at all, just additions. But the Steelers and Justin Fields were looking definitely better than I expected. This is one of our better teams. When I first opened this up and before I rearranged the depth chart, it was only an 83, so I was worried, but I forgot to move like Holland to strong safety, and we signed Logan Hall because we don't really have another great defensive end, but that's fine. I don't think Logan Hall will even play anyways, at least not much. But yeah, this is a really good team. The one concern is like Joey Porter Jr. hasn't really developed that much. He's still only an 82, 26. He's already 26, but Gabe Davis is only 27. That's weird. And I guess I'll make Patton the number 2 because, I mean, he could have a good dev trait. It's probably just star, but we'll see. But I guess more importantly for this challenge, the offense is looking good. Again, George Pickens hasn't really developed a lot, but he's good at least. The O-line should be good, and if it isn't, we can just bench one of the starters. That's my usual strategy in simulation. If someone underperforms, just bench them, whether the player you're benching him for is worse or not. Oh yeah, also the Bates guy the CPU picked. I put him at guard because he's 6'4", 338, so we'll start him because he's a rookie and has hidden dev. But yeah, the Steelers looking good, but still could be bad. It depends on how Justin Fields does, but now being more run heavy, I'm a little more confident. But finally, we saved the best for last. The Dallas Cowboys with Trey Lance at an 87 overall, which, by the way, just a second ago, when I was checking like who the worst teams were, it said the Cowboys were an 89, but we're only an 87 now that I switched to them for some reason. Like that was before I even like moved any players around or anything to new positions. So does your overall just get lower when you're usering a team? I don't know, maybe. I know other teams' overalls get lower when you're playing against them, so maybe they do? I don't know. But yeah, this is the best setup team for any quarterback we have, easily. I mean, Trey Lance's options are insane, and an amazing offensive line. If he's bad this year, I might just remove the Cowboys from this and just say, hey, Trey Lance is unfixable. Like, this is not even close. The best one. I mean, there are teams that are set up well, but not this well, I don't think. The defense should be good too. I think this is our first year with our new defensive playbook, or did we have it last year? I think it is the first year. So we'll see how that does. Should be better, hopefully. But all right, that was the final team. The Cowboys should finally be our best this year, but let's find out. Let's get to the midseason, or no, let's just get to the end of the year. I'm so used to going to the midseason. It's weird to be going straight to the end of the year every season, but let's get to the end of the year 3. I just stumbled over what I was trying to say so hard there, but let's get to the end of the year. That's my point. But okay, wow, this might be harder than I expected because somehow in year number 3, despite having some of the highest overall teams in the league, we did not make the playoffs with a single team, which is crazy because we had, I think, 2 5-2 teams at the midseason, the Cowboys and the Jags, or the Jags might have been 4-3, but still 9-8 is just our lucky/unlucky number. Steelers 9-8 for the 3rd year in a row, Jags 9-8, and Cowboys 9-8, and then Raiders and Broncos both finishing 6-11. At least it was like correct that our better overall teams did better, but all of our teams should have done better. I mean, the Cowboys are almost the highest overall team in the league. Just the Eagles and there was one other team, the 49ers. Those are the only 2 teams that are better in terms of overall. I mean, even the Jags are an 87. Like, that's better than almost every other team, at least top 5 to 10. Steelers also an 87. So we got kinda unlucky. We're right there in terms of roster talent. And we have pretty decent playbooks on a lot of these teams. I think we're just gonna hope that this was an unlucky year. Or these teams are being held back by their quarterbacks, which is most likely the answer, but let's pretend that's not real. Let's pretend it's something else. But Trevor Lawrence looks like he did well this year. I just keep sorting by passer rating just to see about who did best. It looks like Trevor Lawrence was the best again, has been the best, and probably will be the best by the end of this, but you never know. Random breakouts happen. Only 2 yards away from 3,800, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks. Nice completion percentage. Ooh, Justin Fields with his best year so far. 3,500 yards, 23 touchdowns, 10 picks. So I think it was the playbook. Which is weird. I've seen the Steelers in the Super Bowl before with Justin Fields, but he was just horrible here with that Steelers playbook. Trey Lance also, I mean, he's come a long way since that first year. He's like genuinely putting up really good numbers. I think he had the most touchdown passes out of any of our QBs. Now he had a lot of picks, but still. Mac Jones has been disappointing. I mean, as disgusting as it is to say, I've seen him get signed by the Raiders before and win MVP. So we're not getting that here, but he isn't horrible. I mean, still just a lot of picks, but isn't horrible. And then kind of surprisingly, based off of how this has gone so far, Zach Wilson was our worst QB, but actually he had the most touchdown passes by a lot with 37. He just also had the most interceptions thrown by a lot with 24. So this was a really strange year. Way too many interceptions from our quarterbacks, but that's kind of to be expected. But still, I'm just surprised these teams didn't do better. I mean, most of our teams had winning records, just, I mean, they were all 9-8. So that's unlucky. Damn, still no Trevor Lawrence for MVP. Has he been up here once? I don't think so. Ooh, Troy Franklin won Offensive Player of the Year. I will actually check what he did. Just a casual 1,500 yards and breaking the receiving touchdowns record in a year, or tying it. Guess we'll never know. Brandon Ayuk got 29. Okay, sure. But TJ Watt wins Defensive Player of the Year, again, one of our teams. Micah Parsons gets NFC Defensive Player of the Year, and then that's it. But all right, I think we're just gonna chalk this up to being unlucky. Because honestly, all of our quarterbacks did well enough. Oh, I do also want to check one more thing. With the Ravens offense, how did Justin Fields do in the run game? Okay, much better. 659 yards, 8 touchdowns. I'm super glad we switched to this. I mean, this should be a much better situation. I don't even know if he's passing less, though. I think he's just better in this offense. I don't know. But all right, let's get into what is going to be the second to last offseason. And I mean, how much more can we really do for these teams? We're pretty good, but there will be definitely something we can do for all these rosters to hopefully get at least one of these teams another Super Bowl win in the next couple years. But okay, now in free agency, the Raiders might be our most interesting team. Now here's why. This offense is honestly, it's not good, but it's well-rounded, and the weird part about this offense is it was bad, but I couldn't tell you what was bad about it. I mean, I guess it was just our pass game, but I guess it was just Mac Jones, because, like, we had Devontae Adams. We let him go because he regressed and wasn't interested, or, well, he was interested, he just didn't accept our offer, but he's down to an 84 now after the year. He was, like, an 87 or something. But, like, the weapons were nice for Mac Jones. It's literally just Mac Jones. The blocking wasn't perfect, but it definitely wasn't the worst I've ever seen. Not even close to the worst of this rebuild, being 52 or whatever. Mac Jones is just bad, which is weird, because normally he's good in franchise, especially on the Raiders. So we're gonna make some interesting moves. We're gonna go for Michael Pittman, which he's also getting older. He's almost 30, but he's an 87 overall. He is interested. We can get the lead for him. But really, I don't know what else to upgrade on offense here. I would want a running back, because Brian Robinson wasn't great. He only had like 3.8 yards per carry, but honestly, that's maybe even better than I expected. But like, there just still isn't an upgrade. So I guess we'll go for Zach Charbonnet. I've seen him do well sometimes in simulation, and then we're also going to go for Dian Henley. So those signings could give this offense the spark it needs, but I think what we really need is a new quarterback. But we know what we're committed to here. We know what the point of this whole rebuild is, this whole video or experiment or whatever you want to call it. But as the Jags, we might just like not sign anyone. I mean, this roster's good, like straight up. Oh, I forgot to mention the other weird thing about the Raiders. But you know what? Actually, as the Jags, I guess we'll go for Ronnie Stanley. Cam Robinson wasn't great, and I do want to sign somebody. Now, I mean, Cam Robinson wasn't, I mean, he was bad, but for Madden, this isn't that bad. And also, Trevor Lawrence also got sacked 20 times. That's it. So maybe we shouldn't do anything about the offensive line. I mean, Joe Tooney did retire, so it is worse. So my plan is to try to sign Ronnie Stanley and then move Cam Robinson into left guard. And then maybe maybe right guard, because Ezra Cleveland has been so good at left guard. Or wait, no, I think this was at right guard. We just had both him and Joe Tooney listed at left, and I think it put Cleveland at right. I don't know. I'll rewatch the clip of the Jags breakdown, but either way, we're signing Ronnie Stanley if he wants to. But as the Steelers, which I didn't even mention, but this is not that good of a free agent class still. I mean, there are some good players, but most of them are older, which is unlucky. But we're gonna go for a couple re-signings of linemen I originally let go, but I plan to bring them back. Dan Moore and James Daniels, because they've actually been playing very well, which kind of surprises me. But we're gonna add Deron Payne. Now, here's why. We let Logan Hall go, obviously. We might bring him back. I don't know. He probably won't get signed. But Cam Hayward did finally retire. So we're gonna move Benton to defensive end. It looks like he only goes down 1 overall, so that's good. But yeah, that does leave a pretty big hole at the defensive line position. Ooh, also, wait. Juan Graham has X Factor. Looks like he just had that, I would assume. Also, oh, is this a blocking tight end? Of course. Chris Johnson, the classic Madden X Factor blocking tight end, which that reminds me. Let's go back to the Raiders for a quick second. Also, the Steelers' backup quarterback has superstars, so I think we're going to be trading him for like a first-round pick or something. Maybe. Or a second. I don't know. But the Raiders, if you didn't catch it, unsurprisingly, Carlisle has X Factor. Lang went up to superstar, so that's cool. He also regressed for some reason. Don't know why. He's 24. But the backup quarterback, Randy Farrell, whatever, we'll say Farrell, has X Factor. What round was he picked in? I almost don't want to trade guys like this away, because we could also just keep these quarterbacks. He was a 4th-round pick. We could also just keep these quarterbacks to, like, not let other teams develop them. But, like, I don't know. If we trade them, we obviously get picks, so tough to say what to do there. But just because they have X Factor doesn't necessarily mean they'll play well. They probably will, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. But as the Cowboys, to help Trey Lance, we are only going to go for one player, and that's a defensive player, so I guess it doesn't directly help Trey Lance. What was the problem with this team, though? It was the defense. I mean, this team shouldn't have had any problems. This was one of the best overall teams in the league. We should have made the playoffs, but whatever. Safety's like the biggest upgrade we could make to this team. I want to sign Jordan Addison to one of our teams. I just can't. None of them really make a ton of sense other than the Raiders, but we're going for Michael Pittman instead on the Raiders, so I don't know. Just tough. Because, yeah, we have enough receivers here. He would be an upgrade over Rashid Shaheed, just not a massive upgrade. Plus, we already have 2 other good receivers, so he would just be kind of buried. But finally, with the Broncos, this team is interesting. There are some good dev traits here. So it looks like Bowen. Did I show me moving him to linebacker? I don't know, but it looks like he went up to star dev. He led the league in tackles. Wright at free safety has X Factor. I mean, you see all the dev traits. It's a very colorful team. On offense, not so much, but I mean, at least Troy Franklin went up to X Factor. That's cool. And we have a few linemen. We have another superstar backup QB too, who looks old. This was one of our worst teams, but I really do not get why. Like, this is a really good team on paper. I think this might have been our worst team. Maybe the Raiders, I don't know, they had the same record. So this could be a playbook issue, maybe. You know what? The Steelers defense has been good. How about the Steelers defense? We'll see. It's probably just good because of the players that are on it, but still, we'll find out. And this is where it would make sense to go for Jordan Addison. However, he's not interested and the Bills have a really big offer, so can't do that. Oh, okay, I pressed the wrong button, but that's fine because we're pretty much done going through offers, thankfully. I mean, we are done other than the Broncos. So we kind of just screwed ourselves as the Broncos maybe, but I don't even know who I would sign, so that might be okay. I'm using my keyboard to control this, so I'm hitting weird buttons because my headphones died and I charge my headphones with the same USB cable that I use my controller with, so there's absolutely a better way to do what I'm doing, but whatever, it's fine. I don't think we were gonna go for any free agents as the Broncos anyways. This team is pretty good, but we already see one big signing. It looks like we did get Michael Pittman as the Raiders, but let's check out some of the others here. So Ronnie Stanley did go to the Jags. That's huge. Marcus Williams goes to the Jets? Really? That really sucks because, well, we'll see. There was one other good free safety that we still could get. We do get Deron Payne as the Steelers, Charbonnet to the Raiders, James Daniels back to the Steelers, Dan Henley to the Raiders, Dan Moore to the Steelers. So I think, also this really old superstar QB is here, but I think Marcus Williams was the only player we didn't get. Actually, there still might be some thinking about their deals. Although, I don't know. That might have been it. But yeah, like I said, there just isn't anyone here that would really help the Broncos, so if there was any team that I was okay with skipping over, it was the Broncos. Because, like, what would we have done? Maybe a corner. There still might be one, but honestly, that's an easy position to draft, so I don't know. And we're planning on drafting a receiver, by the way. I should point that out, too. So I guess guess we'll go with Cordale Flott. Sure, not the most exciting signing ever, but that's probably our best option. But then as the Cowboys, now this player wasn't interested, that's the only problem. And I did see they have offers now. Oh no, okay. J.R. Brown, the Giants are also interested in him. I was thinking about just signing him over Marcus Williams because he is 3 years younger, but again, he isn't interested, so that's tough. And there isn't really a strong safety either. I mean, they're okay, but they're older and not as good. So let's see if Brown signs. What did I even press? It doesn't even show as an option. Did I press R? No. What did I press? W? What do you simulate the offer with? How did I do that? I genuinely don't know how I did that. Oh, I can't submit offers. Okay, I'm stupid. I can't submit offers as the Cowboys. That's okay. I know what I'm doing, by the way. Definitely. Okay, now let's see if those two players sign. Oh, okay, I thought we didn't get Cordale Flott. I mean, we didn't, but he's still considering our offer, I guess. And I'm assuming J.R. Brown went to the Giants, unfortunately. He did, so safety's still going to be an issue for the Cowboys, and there really isn't anyone else left. Well, that's tough. J.R. Brown, do you want to sign now, please? He doesn't. I don't care. We can find someone that goes unsigned that's maybe even better. But let's get into the draft, and this is going to be an interesting draft. We're at the point where these teams are good. Just the biggest issue for a lot of these teams is the quarterback. So we're doing our best, but at this point, we've made these teams more than good enough, at least for the most part. But here in the draft, I think this is our latest first pick so far, like pick 6 with the Broncos. No top 5 picks this year, which is kind of unfortunate because there's some good receivers apparently. Ooh, wait. Okay, TJ Keenan, probably gonna have normal dev, but top 5 talent towards the late first. Dante Rhodes also looks like a steal later. For some reason, haven't we already seen someone named Chandler Jackson? Maybe I just noticed him last night when I was looking at this class, but okay, we don't need to trade up. I was thinking we would, but at number 6, you know, as the Broncos, we don't like desperately need a receiver or anything, but it is probably our weakest position, other than Troy Franklin, of course. And it's our weakest position other than QB. But hey, hopefully this will make Zach Wilson even better, maybe. We'll go with TJ Keenan. Looks really good. Few A ratings, nothing below a C, so that's good. We'll take him. Ranked 5, got him at number 6. Does have hidden dev, thankfully. Okay, we'll take that. That's a good pick. We maybe could have got him later, but like, whatever. But now at number 9, as the Raiders, I don't know what I want to do. Like I said, we're getting to the point where it's hard to know what position we can upgrade through the draft. The teams are good enough for these QBs. We just need to get luckier than we have been. Okay, we probably need a lineman. This O-line isn't great. And a receiver. I didn't sign a receiver. Hold on. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Again, I did all this last night. I'm not to break the fourth wall, but I'm recording this the next day, so I kind of like forget everything. Now, I think I focus scouted running back, right? Yeah. There is a good one, Derek Burrows. Do we want to go with a running back at number 6 though? That's like, or number 9. I mean, close enough. He's the best running back out of the class, but is that worth it? Let me check. Is there a good center? I don't remember who I like private workouted for the Raiders. That was privately worked out, I guess is the right word there. I don't know. Spencer McCullough looks good. I don't see like a top 5 talent guard this year though, or center. Unless it's like Bingham, depends on his strength. Ooh, maybe Bingham. He might be really good actually. I'm not gonna take a 3rd to 4th round projected pick here. I might take him like round 3, but he looks good. But again, we're just out of obvious needs. Should I just go with Burrows? I mean, this is gonna be such a reach, but we've had so many running back issues as the Raiders. I don't know if Burrows would necessarily solve those issues. That's the only problem, but he at least looks good. He doesn't look amazing though, but he looks good. We know he's good. This is gonna be such a questionable pick, but I think we'll take him. We'll start him. Ranked number 5, got him at 6. Cool. Normal dev. All right. Awesome. That was a waste of a pick then. But now what's our next pick? Is the Steelers? Oh no, the Jags are our next pick. Okay, this is where we could also use a receiver. Because Brandon Moore, we picked him last year with the idea that he would start this year, but I just thought he would be a better overall when we were picking him. I also just thought he would have a dev trait. Or I was hoping at least. I mean, the defense is good. I mean, this is probably our best side of the ball out of any of the teams we have. We're gonna need a tight end eventually too, because Evan Ingram's 32. I don't know if I focus scouted tight ends as any team though, so I don't know which tight ends are good. Frank McGinnis might be good. Oh, he might be really good. Hold on. What's your speed? Elite, great acceleration, elite change of direction. Can't wait for him to be like randomly a 70 overall, and I can't figure out why. Tight ends are just one of those positions for me where I don't know if it's just like lack of experience picking them, but I just always make a mistake with the one I'm taking. We could also go with a receiver, but honestly, I don't remember which ones are good. So we'll go with McGinnis. Ranked number 5, got him as 6. Let's go. Thankfully, as hidden dev, I wasn't sure if he would. I think he's a good tight end, but it's hard to say for sure because his short route and deep route and catch in traffic aren't fully scouted. And he doesn't look like a great blocker, but we'll see. Should be even more help for Trevor Lawrence, though. But the Cowboys at 16. Once again, what do we even need for the Cowboys? What do we need? Maybe a safety? I think that's what I focus scouted. I can't remember for sure, though. Like, this offense is good. We've set it up very well for Trey Lance. The only thing we could maybe think about is Jake Ferguson, because he wasn't interested. We had to tag him, so maybe we could just draft a tight end and let Ferguson go, but we just took the good tight end that I saw, so, or the only good one I saw, I should say. So I don't know if I want to do that. There is a good safety, Kyle Fuller, Bears legend, I guess. No, he actually became good for a few years. Was a bust for a while, but then eventually it clicked. But I think we'll take him, probably only like a 76 or something, but hopefully his hidden dev, ranked 5, got him at 6. Let's go. Does have hidden. I need to stop. I mean, I just want to see what the players are ranked, but I keep looking and it just keeps saying ranked 5 picked him at 6. The only team that it doesn't show the wrong numbers for is the Broncos, because they're our commissioner, I'm guessing. I think you can pick as the commissioner. I wonder if I should do that. Is that a thing you can do? I mean, I can't look at the team's roster, or at least the lineup, when I'm using the Broncos, so that's the issue. But for the Steelers, I think I'll either go with like a lineman or a receiver here, just the usual positions. Our defense is a 91 overall, but our offense still has a few issues, I guess. There is a good corner and a defensive end. Maybe we should just go with one of them. We could also go with Bingham here. I do like him. That would ruin our plans for the Raiders. Steelers line's actually been pretty good, though. What were we bad at as the Steelers? Was it just Justin Fields? But Justin Fields wasn't even that bad. Oh, don't know. Okay, cool. We had a below average offense. I don't know. The blocking was not bad, though. But to be fair, I guess we passed a decent amount. I was going to say we didn't pass much, but we kind of did. 446 is a lot for Madden for some reason, or at least it's a good amount. Yeah, you know what? I will take a chance on Bingham. Ranked number 5, got him at 6. He has hidden dev, ugly suit, but with the purple shoes. But I think he'll be a good overall. He could be a top 5 player in the class. I don't know. It's hard to say because we've already seen like 3 of them, so there are only 2 others, but he might be close. Honestly, all the top 5 talents might be off the board because usually there's a top 5 talent tackle. The first 2 picks were tackles. We know 3 of the receivers were top 5 talents. Yeah, all of them already might be off the board. But was that our last first round pick? I think that was. Yeah, but as the Broncos, I don't know if there's anything I want to do. I might just straight up simulate the rest of this out. I mean, sometimes that's a questionable move because the CPU doesn't always make the best picks, but like, I don't really see anyone else I want. So let's get to the end of the draft and we'll see how we did. We're really just trying to help these QBs out, but eventually they just need to play well for themselves. The teams are set up well enough. But okay, those tackles actually weren't top 5 talents. Like I said, we knew the top 3 receivers were that went off the board. However, the best player in the class, if you couldn't already guess, was Adonis Bingham, and he was the best by a mile. He was an 84 overall. I honestly didn't know he was that good because he did have a few C ratings, but he also has 89 pass block finesse, 84 run block finesse, 88 lead block, 94 impact block, and 86 awareness. Again, this is why we need A+ ratings because it would have been a lot more obvious. Now, I guess you could argue that would make it easier, but it would also make it less confusing because, as I always say, an A can be like a 79. It can also be an 89. It just depends. I don't know if it can be as low as a 79, but still, you get my point. Like, hell, it can be a 99. It can also be like an 80 or something. But also, Frank McGinnis, that was a pretty good pick. He's the number 2 player in the class. 81 overall tight end, hidden dev. Just a really good receiving tight end. I mean, he's kind of similar to Evan Ingram stats-wise, I would guess. That's interesting. So we literally got the 3 best players we could have picked because Bond and Bradford were already gone before we started picking. Yeah, I would say that was a pretty good class. But let's see. Fuller's a good safety, 77 overall. That was definitely worth it. And then our worst pick, unfortunately. Although, I don't know, he's a 78 overall. Derek Burrows, just no dev trait. And then the CPU decided, oh, let's ignore the fact that they already picked a running back. Let's pick another one. And why not? Let's pick 2 tight ends and 2 linebackers, 2 edge rushers, I guess. No, actually 3. Like, what is the logic? It picked 3 different positions out of 7 7 picks. Why? That's crazy. I did make this pick for the Broncos, Quentin Way. That was the last pick I made, though. He's good. The CPU picked some solid players, but of course, 3 receivers and 3 corners. Why? Again, 3 different positions out of 7 picks. The Cowboys. Oh, this was a horrible CPU class. Other than Emmanuel Smith, pretty solid tight end, hidden dev. But guess what? 3 different positions out of these 6 picks that the CPU made. 2 tackles, 2 tight ends, and 2 edge rushers. I'm sensing a theme here. Is this one finally different? I don't think so. Might be 4 positions, but at least these are really good players. Niles Branch, 76 overall, hidden dev receiver. He'll start. That's a good pick. But Brian Keaton, he's a solid guard, solid tight end. Ooh, blocking tight end. Oh, he doesn't have a dev trait? That's crazy. It's harder to find a normal dev blocking tight end in like day 3 than it is to find an X Factor blocking tight end. I think that says enough about this game. But Dylan Allen, also good, 74 overall, hidden dev. The only problem is 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 2 off-ball linebackers. The only saving grace, I guess, is it picked a guard. It didn't double up there, thankfully. And then the Steelers. This is the player I wanted them to take. I was thinking about Johnny Bethel with the first pick, because I focus scouted him and I saw he was a first-round talent. At least I think it was him. I noticed a 2nd to 3rd round projected defensive end that was a 1st round talent, so I'm assuming that was him. So that's perfect. Okay, this was a really good draft. Glenn Hargrove, 75 overall. Walt Johnson, 75 overall linebacker. Another defensive tackle, and then another defensive end. Okay, it really started to double up again, but we'll forgive it because these players are really good. So I would say this was probably our best draft yet, but let's get into, I think is this our final season? No, this is year 4. I'm stupid, but let's get these teams sorted out, 2nd to last year, and hopefully we can finally have more than just one playoff team at a time. We deserve to have more. It's just, unfortunately, these teams are definitely being held back by their quarterbacks, but we're trying. But all right, Zach Wilson and the Broncos, we're looking solid heading into year number 4. Up to an 87. I am afraid of this offensive line because we don't really, I mean, we have depth, but not much. We have Mike McGlinchey and Richards, and that's about it. So it's pretty much this starting O-line or we're cooked. Like, they need to do well. But I mean, this is a really good receiving core. Should be much even better by the end of the year because Keenan should develop and Franklin should develop even more. This defense, like, we've built some really good defenses here. Almost every team has a higher overall defense than offense. Again, probably due to having like a 70-something overall QB, but still. The D-line isn't like phenomenal or anything, but it'll have to do for now. But yeah, this team's good. Should I check overalls now or should I wait? I guess I'll check now. I haven't changed some of them, or like this is the first one I've really rearranged the depth chart with, but like, look at the overalls. This is like our worst team, and it's almost the highest overall in the league. Just the 49ers, Eagles, and that's it, excluding our teams. Those are the only 2 other teams that are better for overall. How are we not doing better in terms of record? That's insane. You know what? I switched this defense to the Steelers, didn't I? What if I switch that away? Because this defense has been terrible. I don't know. We just switched it last year, right? We'll see. We'll give it until the mid-season this year, but if it sucks again, I'm switching it to something else. But all right, the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. Surprisingly not our highest overall team, despite being our most successful so far, and having, you know, our highest overall QB by far. Honestly, this team on paper looks maybe the best out of any of them. But, you know, we don't really have any, like, superstar receivers or anything, or, like, there just aren't any 95 overall players or anything. I mean, Etienne and Lawrence are close, but that's about it. But I think heading into year 5, this could be our highest overall team. Depends on how guys like Thomas and Branch and McGinnis develop. But like I said, it is set up very well for Trevor Lawrence. It's set up well for all these QBs. We just have to see how they'll play. But all right, with the Steelers, I'm really good at building 87 overall teams, apparently. All 3 of them have been 87 so far, which again are 3 of the highest overall teams in the league. Again, there are only 2 teams, not including ours, that are better than these first 3 teams so far. So we should do well this year. Should and will are 2 different things in Madden, but we should be good. Also, probably should sign another receiver for the Steelers. Like, our 4th is a 66 overall. I might do that really quick. Shaquille McLeod, he looks good. Or whatever that name is. But yeah, this team is good. However, the Ravens offense has not done as well for this team as I expected. I figured it wouldn't be like the best offense just because the Ravens playbook playbook in Madden isn't the best, but at least from experience. And I thought it would help Justin Fields, which it has, but the offense as a whole has been pretty bad still. So I don't know. It's a good team on paper. Like the rest of ours, it's just not playing well. Oh yeah, also for Hargrove, the CPU, the safety, the CPU pick, I moved him to corner. I wish I could speak. I moved him to corner, and I think we'll start him because he has hidden dev and he's only 21 years old. But other than that, this team is very complete, very good. Also, this Graham guy the CPU picked, his X factor at linebacker, I think I already showed that. I don't know what we're gonna do with him, but he's there. Maybe we'll let Peyton Wilson go or something. But yeah, this team is really good too. Just the only question is, will it actually play well? The same as all our others. It shouldn't be held back by Justin Fields either, because Justin Fields is like our second highest overall QB, but we'll see what happens. But now with the Raiders, with Mac Jones, this is definitely our worst team. Only an 84 overall. I feel like it would be a lot better if we had had this team from the start and the CPU didn't get to do its usual garbage to it year one. Like this team definitely would have at least been better. It still might have been our worst, but at least better. I mean, this O-line is not great. Same with our running backs, at least for now. Our receiving core is good, but probably our worst. This is probably our best D-line though, or at least one of them. That's like the only bright spot of this team though. Like our safeties aren't great. At least Lang has superstar, but still he isn't amazing yet. Our corners aren't great. Our linebackers aren't great. This team is rough. This team has some issues. So unfortunately, I don't think there's much hope for Mr. Mac Jones here. We could honestly try to send him to a new team, maybe, but I don't know. Like I said, like I've been saying, I've seen him do so well on the Raiders in franchise before. I just don't know how that happens. But all right, let's get to the end of year 4, and I'm hopeful that some of our teams can do well this year. Again, they deserve to do well. It's just, will they do well is the question. We will find out. But okay, in year number 4, here's what I'm thinking. I think any team that had a bad side of the ball, whether offense or defense, we're just gonna change their playbook no matter what. Because despite having pretty much all of the highest overall teams in the league, still, only the Jags made the playoffs this year. Now, thankfully, we at least had one. It was close, but I mean, I'm doing my part here. These are some really good rosters around these QBs, but the Jags are still the only team that has made the playoffs out of any of ours. The Broncos were doing well at the midseason, but really choked. It looks like, unfortunately, we got beat by 2 of our own teams in the last 2 weeks, so our teams might be beating up on each other here, unfortunately. I do want to see what the standings were, though. We probably had a bunch of 9-8 teams again. No, the Steelers were 8-9, Broncos 7-10, Raiders 7-10. Oh wait, but actually, I missed it. The Cowboys were the 1 seed for the NFC. Okay, never mind. We had 2 make it this year, finally. It just wasn't even in my, head that the Cowboys could do that well, because they were only 3-3 at the midseason. Now, every year at the midseason, I've been obviously benching linemen for every team that are underperforming, because that always happens for whatever reason. And apparently that worked out for the Cowboys. But let's check out some of our QB stats. God, Zach Wilson still getting sacked 45 times. All right, Drew Dahlman needs to go. He needs a contract. We're obviously not extending him. But Trey Lance, what a turnaround from the beginning here. He had genuinely the worst quarterback season I've ever seen in Madden, unless it's like a 0 overall rebuild. Like, this is ridiculous, and now he's turned into a ridiculous player in a good way. 4,600 yards, 36 touchdowns, only 9 picks. He's become very good. Also, 9.1 yards per attempt. That's crazy. But Trevor Lawrence, 3,900 yards, 33 touchdowns, 10 picks, 72 completion percentage, we'll take it. But other than that, other than those two, Fields, I mean, he's been doing better under the Ravens offense, but the whole offense has been terrible, so I think we're just going to switch it. It might make Fields play a little worse, but it should hopefully make the offense better, which I guess doesn't really fit our goal of what we're trying to do, but also we're trying to get these quarterbacks playoff success, and that really isn't happening. I mean, the Steelers have been the closest team to the playoffs that still haven't made it out of any of the ones that we have. Like, they've been going 9-8 except for this year, but still the offense has really been the problem. But Zach Wilson really being screwed over by his blocking, unfortunately. We'll switch that offensive playbook, and then Mac Jones is just kind of kind of bad. I mean, these are like solid numbers, but he's playing like one of the worst QBs out of the starters here. Now, here's the question. Will we finally have our first player up here for MVP in Trey Lance? Now that I'm hyping it up, it's not going to happen, but we got to check. He is up here at number 9. We'll take it. Still no Trevor Lawrence, which is disappointing because I've seen him win MVP quite a few times. But ooh, for Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Fields at number 9. Ooh, TJ Keenan wins Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Broncos. Bethel at 2 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. That sucks. Micah Parsons obviously wins Defensive Player of the Year for like the millionth time. Damn, did we have no NFC offensive rookies? That's crazy. Or defensive rookies. I guess we only have one NFC team, right? The Cowboys. All of our others are AFC, at least for now. But all right, I'll stay as the Broncos for the playoffs here. Of course, we have the Jags in the wild card with Trevor Lawrence and the Cowboys in the divisional getting a first round bye with Trey Lance. The Jags are going to be taking on the Ravens. I do want to see who's the higher overall out of those two. Could be the Ravens because they usually end up being pretty good. They're an 87 and no, the Jags are an 89. So, I mean, we should be able to win that game. I don't think we will, but we do have the better team. Let's see what happens in the wild card. I don't have high hopes. Never mind, they do win. What was the score? 28-14. We'll take it. The Cowboys are going to be taking on the 49ers. I feel like they're going to lose. I don't know. I just have negative thoughts when it comes to simulation in Madden, but can you really blame me? So this is the first time we've had two teams in the divisional, I think, right? Yeah. The Jags are going to be taking on the Texans, who I would also assume we have a higher overall team than. I think the 49ers are the highest overall team in the league, though, but not much better than the Cowboys. Actually, the Cowboys are only an 89. I thought they were 90, but yeah, the 49ers are better. So I guess that's understandable if we lose. Not that Madden goes off of overall, but it should for simulation. Stupid that it doesn't. But as the Jags, we are also 2 overall better than the Texans. So can we have 2 teams in the conference championship in year number 4? I see at least one. I see both. Says Jaguars at Chiefs. Both the Cowboys and Jags make it to the conference championship. We could have a Super Bowl matchup between 2 of our teams. If we do, we might have to go out there. That might have to be our last game of this rebuild. That would be nuts. But we're playing 2 tough teams, the Chiefs and Eagles, who I do unfortunately see in the Super Bowl a lot. I mean, I see all 4 of these teams in the Super Bowl a good amount. But all right, nothing else to really do here, so let's just simulate this game. And can we have 2 teams in the Super Bowl in year 4? We do. Okay, I gotta show I'm not force winning these games. I feel like there's some conspiracy theorists in my comment sections. Actually, can I check that? Okay, yeah, I can. See, I'm not force winning it, obviously. It would be lame. But all right, I think this might have to be the final year. It's not the full 5, but this is where this is the peak. It's not gonna get better than this. You know what? We'll jump in and watch it simulate too. We'll use her like I don't know, we'll use her one of the teams and we'll see how it plays out. So funny enough, after the first year, this is gonna be a battle between what was our best quarterback and our worst quarterback after year 1. Now eventually becoming our 2 best, with Trey Lance now being one of the best performing QBs in the league. Doesn't have a dev trait yet. Are we in the Super Bowl week yet? Maybe he'll get it. Let me see. No, we're not in the Super Bowl week yet. But what a beautiful sight. Our 2 teams, we're guaranteed a Super Bowl win here no matter what. Down in the bottom right, it says one last game, Cowboys versus Jaguars. It knows. What does it mean by one last game though? I guess one last game of the season, but this is our one last game of the rebuild. But all right, let's switch to, I guess, the Cowboys, because they were the better of our 2 teams. Oh, and I do want to check, did we get any dev traits here? Okay, Trey Lance did finally get star dev. Other than that, we didn't get any on offense. How about defense? Also, no. For a team that's in the Super Bowl, only 1 dev trait is kind of crazy. That's surprising. But all right, let's jump in. We'll watch how this goes. Gonna be a fun game. And for the first time ever on the channel, I think we're gonna have a Mikey McDingle versus Mikey McDingle showdown. Gonna be weird to look at. But let's simulate to the end of the game. Still no score in the first quarter, but the Cowboys do score first, and they're gonna make it 10-0 early. The Jags do score, but the Cowboys score right back. The Jags kick a field goal, but the Cowboys do too. They're up 20-10 in the third quarter. Make that 27-10. Make that 34-10. They are absolutely running away with it. The Jags do get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, but it is way too little too late, as the Cowboys absolutely smoke smoke the Jaguars 48-18. I kind of wish it was closer. It would have been super exciting if it came down to a game-winning field goal or something between our two teams. But either way, we have very much saved the career of at least Trey Lance. We've improved Trevor Lawrence. We've improved all these quarterbacks. They're all playing better than they have in real life. 2 Super Bowl wins, 1 for the Jags, 1 for the Cowboys. And it looks like Super Bowl MVP went to Trey Lance. So what a way to finish off this rebuild.